Hi there, and welcome back to Paws and Pawsitivity. I'm Jamie Watkinson-Harvey, your certified dog trainer, behaviour consultant, and host of this podcast. And whether you're curled up on the sofa with your pup or out walking through the countryside, I'm so glad that you're here, because today we're going to be talking about something that I honestly think should be taught to every new dog guardian, and that's canine body language. Because here's the truth. Your dog is always talking to you. Not with words, of course, but with their body, their face, their tail, and their posture. The question is, are we listening? Learning to read your dog's body language isn't just a fun party trick. It's the foundation of trust, respect, and proper care. And it helps prevent misunderstandings, supports behavior change, and allows you to truly meet your dog's needs. So let's unpack this beautiful silent language and talk about how it can transform your relationship with your dog. Now, the first thing that I want to say is this. Dogs don't speak human, and they don't expect us to speak dog perfectly either. But they are constantly communicating. Every tail wag, ear twitch, head turn, those things mean something. Now, one of the biggest myths that I hear is that dogs are unpredictable. And sure, some behaviors can feel like they've come out of nowhere, especially things such as growling, snapping, or barking. But in nearly every case that I've worked with, there were early warning signs. Tiny whispers from the dog saying, "I'm uncomfortable," long before that shout came. The problem is, we've never been taught to listen. So let's look at some common canine cues that are often misread or missed entirely. One of my favorites to talk about is whale eye. That's when you see the whites of your dog's eyes, usually when the head stays still but the eyes flick sideways. This is often a sign that they're feeling unsure or even threatened. Then we've got the tongue flick, a quick little lick of the nose or lip. It can look so subtle that it's easy to miss, but it's often your dog's way of saying, "I'm a bit stressed here." Yawning is another misunderstood one. If your dog starts yawning in a situation where they're not sleepy, like at the vet's or when a stranger approaches, that's likely stress, not boredom or tiredness. And then there's the classic tail wagging. Now this one is really misunderstood. Not all tail wags are happy. A slow and low wag might be nervousness, and a high, stiff, fast wag might actually signal agitation. It's not about whether the tail is wagging, it's about how it's wagging and what the rest of the body is doing too. Dogs don't communicate with one isolated part of the body. They use the whole picture. Now, I want to share with you something called the ladder of aggression, also known as the pyramid of aggression. And that's a model that helps us understand how dogs try to communicate discomfort before resorting to something more serious. At the bottom of the ladder are those subtle signs: looking away, turning the head, lip licking, and yawning. Then as we move up the ladder, the signals become more obvious: stiffening, growling, showing teeth, and eventually biting. Now here's the sad bit. Many dogs are punished for growling, which means they stop giving that very vital warning altogether. They may skip the growl and go straight to the bite next time. That's not a bad dog. That's a dog whose warnings were ignored or punished. So when a dog growls, rather than thinking, "How do I stop this?" the question needs to be, what is my dog trying to tell me, and how can I help them feel safer? One of the most empowering things that we can do is give our dogs choice. When we learn their body language, we can start to see whether they're enjoying a situation or just tolerating it. Maybe your dog loves cuddles from you, but ducks away when a stranger leans in. That's information. It doesn't mean that they're unfriendly. It just means that they don't feel safe in that moment. By respecting your dog's signals, you actually build more trust. They learn that you've got their back, that you'll listen when they whisper so that they won't have to shout. This understanding becomes especially important with anxious or reactive dogs. When Reggie, my rescue staffy, first came home, he had a pretty bad case and intense separation anxiety. And body language was one of my first windows into understanding what helped or overwhelmed him. Watching his ears, eyes, breathing, posture, it was like a little roadmap of his inner world. And it helped me to meet him where he was and not where I wanted him to be. Supporting a dog like Reggie meant spotting the tiny shifts that told me I'm not okay, and adjusting our training routine or other routines before things escalated. And this is where clicker training can also be a real game changer, by the way, because you're marking tiny moments of good choice or calm behavior, reinforcing what we do want without overwhelming your dog. One of the biggest benefits of learning dog body language is confidence, both yours and your dog's. When you can read your dog, you're better equipped to keep them safe. You can advocate for them at the park, say no to that off-lead dog approaching, or move them away from a scary noise before it becomes a meltdown. And when your dog feels heard, they become more confident too. They know that they're not alone in the world and that their person understands them. So where can you start? Well, watching your own dog in a calm environment is a great step. Notice what they do when they're relaxed. Soft eyes, loose muscles, slow tail wags. That's your baseline. Then gently introduce a new sound, person, or object, and watch what changes. Are the ears more upright? Does the tail stiffen? Are they lip licking more? These are all clues. Then there are also some fantastic books, webinars, and courses out there dedicated to canine body language. I often recommend Doggy Language by Lily Chin. It's a brilliantly illustrated and super accessible little book. Another option is On Talking Terms with Dogs by Turid Rugas. And of course, if you're ever unsure what your dog is telling you, or you need help interpreting their behavior, reach out to a qualified force-free behavior consultant. I promise it can make a world of difference. And that's it for today's episode of Paws and Pawsitivity. And I hope this has helped you feel a little bit more fluent in your dog's language. Remember, our dogs aren't trying to be mysterious. They're just hoping we'll learn how to listen. Reading your dog's body language is one of the most powerful tools you have to support them, advocate for them, and help them feel truly safe. It's not about controlling their behavior. It's about understanding their needs. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this episode helpful, I would love it if you can give the podcast a positive rating, share it with a friend, and subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes. Your support helps us reach a bigger and wider audience and help reach more dog lovers and keeps that positive message going. Until next time, take care and give your pup a big hug from me. Woofity woof!